Who is this administration building into the enemies that have to be silenced? Who in the media now is making a difference? Who? First one has got to be, could we get some non-Chinese chalk?
It's French.
Is it really?
Yes.
It's French. No wonder it caves. Number one has got to be Fox, right? Bret Baier is practically the only journalist to actually challenge the president. He's the only reporter in America that can come up with tough questions for the president? Really? Yeah, it seems like that. Seems like the only network that has noticed that the government suddenly has some proclivity for taking over entire industries like the student loan industry. So they can just cut out the middleman who's taking evil profits. Seems like Fox is the only one that notices that. But this administration, they respond to Fox News by saying we're not really even a news organization. And opinion shows like mine, understand, I'm not a journalist and I wear it as a badge of honor. I'm an opinion guy. Shows like me, oh, we're really in trouble with the president by name. Listen.
I think that when you listen to Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck,
it's beyond that.
It's pretty apparent, and it's troublesome. But keep in mind that there have been periods in American history where this kind of vitriol comes out.
This kind of vitriol is troubling. Since when is someone saying, you're a socialist? Look at your policies. They're all lining up with socialist policies. Since when is that hateful? That sounds like political speech. Sounds like political discourse. If that's the case, I want to show you something, that it's hate speech. Let me show you this. Put it up on the screen, please. Look at the hate speech from Newsweek. It's an idea. But Chris Matthews, he didn't go after the word socialist like President Obama did. No. His problem with the hate speech was the word regime that was used to describe Obama. He said he's never heard that. He never heard that word being used when President Bush was in office. Really, Chris? Because we looked it up. The New York Times. They used that regime, the Bush regime, 16 times, 24 times in the Washington Post. And you know what's weird? I don't know if he's ever heard of, most Americans have not heard of this place. I don't know what exactly they do, but they used it 8 times. In fact, Chris Matthews, You referred to the Bush regime once. So not only did you hear it when Bush, you said it when Bush was in office. And then, of course, you have Fox, then you have talk radio, giving a voice to many Americans who feel like the government isn't even listening to them anymore. Several senators have responded by supporting the return of the fairness doctrine, but don't worry about that. That's not coming back. That's not nearly broad enough. Obama has continued to use his best Saul Alinsky by mocking those who call him a socialist. Here it is again.
That's not the vast majority of Americans. The truth is, some of these comments, when you actually ask, well, this is based on what? This notion that Obama's a socialist, for example. Nobody can really give you a good answer.
I can. I mean, I think we do here every night, Mr. President. In fact, I want to present you with a really good answer. I was going to do it today, but we're deciding how much of it we have to cut out so we can fit it into a 1-hour episode. Make sure you watch tomorrow, Mr. President, because we'll have that. We'll have that answer for you. Okay, so we have Fox, we have talk radio. We have anybody who's standing up and speaking out and saying, hey, this is socialist. We have the Tea Parties. The Tea Party people have been mocked and attacked from the beginning. Teabaggers, they're racist, of course. They're extreme, they're violent, despite any actual evidence. The latest attack was when Nancy Pelosi and the members of the Black Caucus unnecessarily strolled directly through the Kill the Bill rally on March 20th, begging for a negative reaction. Why would you say all these months these people are dangerous, they're scary, and then walk right through them? Was it to rub their nose in the mess that you're making, Nancy? Is that what was happening? They claimed that the N-word was shouted 15 times and congressmen were spat on. Despite cameras rolling all over the place, both the media and individual, there is zero proof that even one racial word was said. There's also no proof or evidence of any spitting. But it sure makes a great story, doesn't it? Seriously. Andrew Breitbart has offered $100,000 to anyone with actual evidence. It'll be donated to the United Negro College Fund. So far, there haven't been any takers. How is it that story was written in 90 minutes? The Drudge Report is also on the list. They're making a difference. Last month, in the heat of the healthcare battle, the administration tried to ban staffers from viewing thedrudgereport.com because of unspecified virus activity associated with the site. That's weird. I go to the Drudge Report almost every day. I've never had computer problems. The warning turned out to have actual facts missing. So, and then we go to the FCC with net neutrality. Coming up next, I'm going to show you how the government, your government, is going after free speech on the internet. The radical left lobbying group, Free Press, Robert McChesney, has the ear of the president. He is, it's an amazing grassroots campaign to control the internet, and you'll never guess who they're using as their poster boy. Oh, yes, their poster boy. Who should be silenced? Do you have the? Yeah. Who needs to be silenced? That's weird. That's weird. By the way, I've noticed kind of an interesting trend this week on all of the grassroots boycotts. Let me just show you something. This is just an interesting trend here. Here's the president, and here are some of his advisors. Van Jones, the Green Job Czar. Jim Wallace, his spiritual and political advisor. And Andy Stern from SEIU. They're all advising the president. They all also have one thing in common. All of them are leading a boycott. That's really weird, isn't it? A boycott of me and my show. Andy Stern, along with MoveOn.org, has just launched the latest boycott. He's got his operation doing a boycott of me, and he has a boycott with his operation. It's weird. It's weird. And especially since there's one other person missing from this. This guy, his employer, don't know the connections yet here, but MoveOn.org, it's weird. George Soros. So very grassroots, isn't it? Freedom of speech. Why was it put into the Bill of Rights? Why? How important is it? What does it mean? What's protected, what's not? Gang, your neighbors need to understand that the free ride that our grandparents left us is over. They did all of the hard work. We really feasted on its carcass for a very long time, thinking, things in America could never change. They're about to. Our rights are slipping away. They are trying to squelch free speech through mockery, intimidation of advertisers, the internet, any way they can. I go back to the original question. When do your neighbors who disagree with you decide enough is enough? I guess when they realize that the only kind of speech that needs protection is the kind of speech that some people don't like, especially those people who have power. We just have to figure out a way to appeal to their better and bigger American nature rather than their smaller Republican or Democrat nature. There is a tremendously important FCC hearing going on this week on net neutrality. Special thanks to Phil Kerpen of Americans